We're with Eastern Connecticut men's lacrosse seniors Nick Terry and Shawn Tierney. The Warriors getting ready to open up their 2017 season on February 25th. Nick, you guys have been practicing for about a month so far, getting ready for the season opener. How has preseason and off-season gone?
I think off-season and preseason has been going well. Definitely a lot faster this year because of Coach Jones. We've been doing a lot of speed and agility work with him, a lot of strength and conditioning. We're a stronger team this year than we were in the past. Definitely, I would say there's going to be less injuries this year due to the strength and conditioning topic. We are definitely a stronger team than we were in the past. We are moving the ball fast. Preseason, everything's been going well. We've been working as a team and in one unit. I would definitely say this year that's going to be better than last year. Is we're going to be moving the ball as one, and we're going to be working as one rather than individuals.
Well, I'll tell you, some people think that the lacrosse season is 2 months long, but Shawn, it's a heck of a lot longer than 2 months, right? I mean, the preparation for the 2-month season has got to take up a lot of your time, and it's got to be very intense.
Yeah, it definitely takes up a lot of time in people's schedule, even when you're not on the field or in season. So when you're out of fall ball and you're in between fall ball and your regular season,
right.
There's still a bunch of time for improvement. That's where stick skills and fitness come into play, like he was saying. So in the off season with Coach Jones, we definitely did a lot more stuff this year than we have in the past, which is great because the program's going up, and that's what we want to do as seniors. We want to leave the program the best that it's ever been. But like in the off season, wall ball, stick skills, fitness, that's our main motivation, is to get better. So when we show up on day one and we show up at Gordon on February 25th, that hopefully we put on a good showing and we come home with a win.
Well, the slogan is sort of that you don't win games in the season, you win games preparing for the season, correct? How much more is preparing for a season in college than it was either in high school or, Nick, you were at Castleton for 1 year. How much of the preparation comes before the season starts?
I would say definitely before the season starts. I think that as soon as the season ends from the prior season, that's when you start working towards the new season. Definitely you want to work on whatever weaknesses you have to get better during that next season coming up. I don't know if Shawn has something else to say about that, but...
So the big difference, obviously, I would say from high school to college is high school you have multi-sport athletes versus when you're coming to college, usually you're a one-sport athlete. So if you're a hockey player trying to jump to lacrosse, it's maybe a couple-week window for your preseason, then you're playing games. But in college, the big thing is your preseason, like before we start our regular season, we have almost a month of practicing, so you see a lot of the same faces every day. You kind of start to learn who's going to play what role. And on every team, everybody needs role players. So that's kind of what you discover in the first month of the season before you get out there for your first game.
Role players are huge in the success of the team. You guys lost 11 seniors last year, one of the bigger classes we've ever had. Lost most of your top scorers. Nick, you're a defensive player. You'll be getting ready for your first season as a starter. Shawn, you're the top returning scorer. Shawn, talk a little bit about the offense, sort of like a revamped offense. Talk about some of the people that will be key offensive players for us.
So this year, especially on the attack side of the ball, myself and Nick Fernandez will be turning on the attack side. Hopefully Matthew Rougeau can stay healthy this year. He's been through a series of injuries, but when he's healthy, he's a great player. Midfield, we did lose a lot of players, especially Liam Murphy, Mike Delano, and on the attack side of the ball, Timmy Riley was our top scorer. He graduated, which is a good thing, but this year it's definitely a lot more of a younger team. A couple of young midfielders. Everybody's still getting used to the whole offensive. Running the new systems is the big thing, transitioning from high school to college. And it just takes repetitions. So the more you do it, the better you get at it. And this is only game one coming up, so you got another 12 games to go, maybe even more than that if you keep playing. And it's just a working process throughout the year. And the only place you can go is up after the first day. You only want to go up and not down. So got a lot of young players that have some work to do.
Yeah, it's always a transition to get the younger players acclimated to the college game. Nick, first year as a starter, you've been with the program. You were at Castleton, then this is your third year at Eastern. Talk about the defense and talk about your development into a starting role as a senior. It must be exciting.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. I mean, this year's a big year for me. Lost tremendous amount of weight, and been killing it in the gym with Coach Jones. He's been training me hard. Definitely gonna try to shine this year on the defensive side. Our defense is really good this year. We got Nick Rocha, 4-year starter.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big aspect of our defense.
Yeah.
I hope to take a role this year, playing crease, and we have Brandon Klett coming down to play close D and keeping Trevor Ross up at LSM.
Was he long stick, Klett, or was he
Yes.
mid? Okay.
Yeah.
So those will be your 3 starting close defenders, right?
Yes.
In the game of men's lacrosse in college, barring injuries, do you generally rotate maybe 4 close defenders?
Yes.
Is that about the rotation?
Yeah, we'll have 4, and I believe the 4th guy is Tierney, Corey Tierney.
Yeah.
So he's a good aspect to the defense as well. He should play a significant part as well.
Talk about, and Shawn, you talked about this a little bit beforehand, even though you're an offensive player, the team lost Blake Smaldone, who was just an outstanding conference all-star. What's it going to entail to play the kind of defense that we played behind him? It's going to be difficult, and I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for the goalie.
Definitely, for sure. I mean, nobody can replace Blake Smaldone.
Yeah.
He makes 20-plus saves a game. We probably wouldn't have won a single game without him in the cage. But this year we do have Chris Gorman coming back, another great goaltender. We shouldn't really skip a beat in the cage. Obviously, nobody can replace Blake Smaldone.
Mm-hmm.
But probably the biggest aspect, as Nick mentioned before, is Nick Rocha, is the 4-year returner. One of the only kids that's actually played a full 4 years here at Eastern. He's the heart and soul of the defense. He's the voice. He's one of the best leaders on the team. So on defense, I mean, as long as Nick Rocha has him under control, I'm sure they can get along as a great unit this year.
Well, the other important part of the team is the face-off, which is, when we had Eric Vazel, he was winning 90% of his face-offs, which has got to give you a ton more opportunities over the course of a game. Talk a little bit about Jesse Schultz, who is also one of your 8 seniors. Anybody want to talk about Jesse and what he brings to the team?
So Jesse Schultz, great kid, obviously, and Jesse is probably hands down the best face-off man, I would say, in our conference this year. Along the top of that, we have a first-team All-LEC long stick mini coming back this year, Trevor Ross. He's going to play a huge part. And probably our most athletic kid on the team, Nick Biasetti, will be on the wing. He does everything for us in between the restraining boxes, which is where you win the games, between ground balls, running up and down the field, and covering the team's best player. He's a big underdog, I would say. A lot of people don't know that name, but he's definitely one of the best key players that we're going to have this year on this year's team.
I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about him. I wanted to talk just briefly, you guys trying to get back to that Little East championship game and winning that championship. Eastern's the most successful team in the history of the Little East, but Keene State has sort of moved ahead a little bit the last few years. They've had some very talented teams. You guys went up there, lost by 4 goals, played very well, and then went up there in the Little East finals and lost by 11. After you lost by 4, did you guys think, hey, we can play with these guys. We can go up there on their field and have a chance to beat them? What happened with that championship game?
So I would say,
they played well,
especially that regular season game. We came out, that's probably the best first half we've played of lacrosse as a team from last year, I would say. Minimal turnovers, we were putting the ball in the back of the net, playing great defense. But then the second half, whatever adjustments they made at halftime, they have a great coach and a great team up there. And I mean, that's what you work for. It's the adjustments that you can make during halftime and whatever they did. I'm sure they did a good job at it. We didn't come out so hot in the second half, I would say. And then that LSC championship game, they were just a better team that day. They came out. I definitely think when we played them in the first half of that regular season game, they realized what we had and what we could do.
Yeah.
And then they really put the pedal to the metal in that championship game. And that's crunch time. That's how a team should be playing come the end of the season. And they definitely got the better of us in that LSC championship game.
Well, like you guys were talking about when we talked off camera, you got to take it one game at a time. Your goal might be to get back and play Keene in the final, but you really can't look past the other stuff. Last year, and people might have forgotten this, but you guys played a great game against Plymouth here and beat them by a goal in the Little East semifinals. Nick, talk a little bit about that scenario, because you guys went up to Plymouth, lost to them, right, in the regular season, in overtime, and then had to play them here. And I think their confidence was sky high, thinking they could beat us again. You guys really came together in that game. That was one of the best games of all time.
Yeah, I think we definitely came together as a team and a unit and played our butts off.
Yeah.
They also came in thinking they were going to beat us.
Yeah.
And we can't go in with a big head, and we didn't. And definitely put a fight up, and we actually came out with the W.
That might have been the best game of the year. You guys always seem to peak though later in the year. We always start out slow. I think we're 1-4. Then you won 9 out of your last 11 going into the final. Do you see that scenario playing out this year, Shawn? In terms of, you got a lot of young guys gradually getting better, and hopefully you're really peaking for the conference tournament.
There's no way to predict the future. Like we said before, it is one game at a time. We have a young team. Our ultimate goal, yes, is to beat whoever is in the LAC championship. Hopefully it is Keene State. We'd love to get the better of them in the regular season. But one game at a time, there's no way, like I said, to predict the future.
Got to stay healthy.
All we can do is hopefully we stay healthy. And the big thing for us is we have to get very solid fundamentals. I mean, the best part of any team is being fundamentally sound. We do a great job of that in practice. Coach Tilly, on a lot of his drills are, getting your hands away from your body, setting your feet, doing what you should do fundamentally to make the right play and be in the right spot. So he does a great job at that. And he definitely runs a great practice. It's one of the best aspects of his coaching style.
Well, Nick, you can answer this last question. You got 8 seniors, and is there going to be anything better than looking back at the end of your career and having won the Little East Championship?
I never won an LAC championship. I hope this year we do. I would definitely say, looking back, I love all the guys from the past. We're all big family, big brothers. But this year, I would say we definitely have a huge bond this year, and everyone has each other's back. And I look at Shawn as a brother. I look at all the seniors as a brother. We have 5 Nicks on the team. We're always a big family. Everyone here is just definitely a big one unit, and I wouldn't call anyone else family besides them.
Well, people talk about talent. Last question, Shawn. People talk about talent, but there's really an intangible called chemistry that really can make the difference in a team, right?
Chemistry, especially, I can only speak for the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Defense is kind of a foreign territory to me.
To most people.
Yeah, chemistry is huge, but the biggest thing for me is hard work. One of my favorite quotes of all time is that hard work outworks talent when talent doesn't want to work hard. So the big thing is everybody's got to play their heart out every game, every shift, and that's going to get us where we need to be. And that's the only way to go about every day. It's the only way we're going to reach our goals as a team.
So the Warriors open up their season February 25th at Gordon, and they will play their first home game at the Mansfield Complex on Wednesday, March 15th. They'll host Roger Williams University, and they will open up their home Little League season on April 9th, hosting UMass Boston. Gentlemen, thanks for being with me, and good luck this year.